have you ever lost something that wasn't yours? That sinking feeling in your stomach, the panic, the frantic search? It's a terrible experience, right? Well, today we're diving into a story from the Bible that deals with exactly that, but with a miraculous twist. It's a story about a lost axe head, a prophet named Elisha, and the incredible power of God in what might seem like a small, everyday problem. This isn't just an ancient tale. It's packed with lessons about faith, compassion, and how much God cares about the details of our lives. Our story comes from the book of 2Kings, chapter 6. At this time, the prophet Elisha was leading a group known as the Sons of the Prophets. Think of it as a school for training future prophets. Their community was growing so much that the place where they lived was becoming too small. It was crowded, and they needed to expand. So one of them comes up to Elisha with an idea. He says, "Let's go down to the Jordan River. There's plenty of wood there. Each of us can cut a beam, and we can build a bigger place to live." Elisha agrees. He says, But then one of the men asks Elisha, "Be content, I pray thee, and go with thy servants." He wanted his spiritual leader to come along. This shows the respect and trust they had for Elisha. They didn't just want his permission. They wanted his presence. Elisha, being the caring leader he was, simply replied, "I will go." So the whole group heads down to the Jordan River and starts chopping down trees. They're working hard, swinging their axes, each one contributing to their new home. But then disaster strikes. As one of the men is felling a beam, the axe head flies off the handle and splashes right into the deep water of the river. Now, you have to understand, this was a huge problem back then. An axe head wasn't something you could just go buy at a hardware store. Iron was valuable, and for one of these student prophets, it was likely a significant possession. To make matters worse, the man cries out, "Alas, master, for it was borrowed." Can you imagine his distress? Not only did he lose a vital tool, but it belonged to someone else. He was responsible for it. He felt that weight of debt and responsibility, and he was completely helpless to fix it. The river was murky and deep. Finding a small, heavy piece of metal at the bottom was impossible. He immediately runs to Elisha, the man of God, in his moment of panic. And how does Elisha respond? He doesn't scold him or tell him to be more careful. First, he asks a simple, practical question. Where fell it? He wants to know the exact spot. The man shows him where the axe head went into the water. Elisha then calmly walks over, cuts down a stick, and throws it into the river at that very spot. And then the impossible happens. The iron axe head, a heavy piece of metal that should be sitting at the bottom of the riverbed, defies the laws of physics. It floats to the surface of the water. The Bible says, "And the iron did swim." It's an astonishing moment. Elisha then tells the man, "Take it up to thee." And the man reaches out his hand and takes it. The crisis is over. His debt is gone, his tool is restored, and his anxiety turns to relief and wonder. So, what can we learn from this incredible story? First, it shows us that God cares about our small problems. A lost axe head might seem insignificant compared to parting the Red Sea or raising the dead. But to this man, it was a huge deal. This story beautifully illustrates that God is interested in every detail of our lives, the big anxieties and the small, everyday worries. He's not a distant God who only shows up for the epic moments. He's a personal God who meets us right where we are, even in our moments of financial stress or personal failure. Second, notice the man's immediate response. He didn't try to hide the problem or fix it on his own. He went straight to the man of God. This teaches us the importance of bringing our problems to God in prayer. When we face something impossible, our first instinct should be to seek Him. And finally, think about the miracle itself. Elisha uses a piece of wood to make the iron float. The wood, which should float, is connected to the iron, which should sink, and the sinking thing is made to rise. This is a beautiful picture of the cross. Jesus, who was sinless, took on our sin and our burdens, the heavy weight that sinks us. Through His sacrifice on a wooden cross, He lifts us up, restoring what was lost and giving us new life. The story of the floating axe head. is a powerful reminder that no problem is too small for God's attention, and no situation is too impossible for His power. He is a God of restoration. He can take your impossible situations, the things that sink you, and miraculously bring them to the surface. Whatever you've lost, whatever burden you're carrying, bring it to Him today. Thanks so much for watching. If this story encouraged you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more videos exploring the incredible truths in the Bible. See you next time.